Today we're putting our quilters to the test. The pattern test, that is. Keep watching.
Hi, I'm John Mossel.
And I'm Fran Morgan.
And I'm Donna Robertson.
And I'm Hannah with Fabric Cafe. And we are back with a very exciting new challenge. Ooh. Are y'all ready?
I love them.
I'm ready.
Okay, so today we're gonna do something a little bit different. I am going to give you all 2 patterns. You will each get the same 2 patterns and you must make a kit to go with those patterns. So that way we get to see just how easy it is to put different fabrics and patterns, how you can change it up, and see kind of your perspectives on how you see that pattern being.
Cool.
Oh, this will be a lot of fun.
Your requirements are very simple. You just have to pick a kit for each of those patterns and name it. So let's see what your patterns are.
Okay.
Your first one is Roman Holiday.
I love Roman.
From your Quick as a Wink book.
Okay.
Then your second pattern is Courtyard,
Nice.
which is available as individual as well as in the Fast and Fun book.
Okay.
All right, y'all ready to get hunting?
Yep.
Let's
get
go.
started.
All right.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying that Roman Holiday is a favorite of mine. And the cool thing about Roman Holiday is that it has to have the really high contrast. I'm going to look for a high contrast fabric.
Roman Holiday, I love this one because it does have a large block in it, so we're going to be able to have a really nice focus fabric.
Roman Holiday has a large focus block. Now this block is cut independently, so that means I can use a directional fabric, which is fantastic.
But for the background number 2, I'm also going to look for a light color that has some interest in it, because there's a lot of background showing. So you want to get a little bit of interest going on, or it might just kind of lose its charm.
What might also be a little interesting is in my number 3, a stripe might be fun in that. So I might be looking at that. Let me just kind of check that out.
I'm excited about both of these patterns because I haven't actually picked fabric before for Courtyard, so that's going to be a really fun one here.
Now Courtyard, that's a little different because the focus fabric is going to be in the outside edge of that block.
And I see this one as being one that can be, you can get a little bit of excitement with this one because you can actually put a lot of color into this one.
This is one of those patterns that you could go with a smaller print as a focus fabric, or you could go with a large print.
I wouldn't say it's really more challenging, but I don't think the high contrast is quite as important because the number 2 fabric is broken up. It's not more solid-like.
I'm going to be looking for a number 2 that's simple, a number 3 with high contrast, and a number 1 focus that might be a larger print with lots of color variation.
So we're going to look for a focus fabric that can be cut up and still look good.
Let that design really speak for itself.
These are both fantastic patterns.
I can see some ideas that we might have on some of the fabrics here on the back wall.
It's always fun to pick out fabric, and I know that you probably feel the same way. It's like taking a trip to the fabric store and giving it all of your attention. Okay, well, we had the 2 patterns that Hannah assigned to us, and let's get started with the first one, and I'll show you what I picked out for Roman Holiday. So this one, I think I've probably said it a dozen times, is one of my favorite patterns. I love Roman Holiday. It has a lot of charm to it, and so many different things will go into this, the making of this quilt to make it even more charming. So let's put that up here, and we're going to go a totally different colorway because, you know, you see this, but I've wanted to go to Italy forever, and one of the things that I wanted to go see was all of the art galleries.
Oh yeah.
I just thought it would be gorgeous. And so looking at the fabric, I just think this is like a large piece of art. I love gardens, and I just think that the colors, these deep, rich colors, kind of made me think of the art galleries and the Renaissance painters. So this is the number 1 fabric. It's going to go in this large block. And then I went a little different because these are all kind of dark colors, but I put this in the background. And so that's going to be the background, and you can see how good that looks there. And then also with the number 3, which is going to be your little faux box here. And if you'll hand me the cropper, I want to show how easy this particular quilt is to put together. You're going to make 2 simple blocks, and you cannot get any simpler than the number 1 block. So that is cut a square of fabric. So it's that simple. And we do use the technique where we'll tell you how wide to make your strip and then to cut your pieces off of that. So that's a super simple block. And then the next block is done in a strip piece method. To get all 3 pieces, you're going to start by making a piece like this. You're going to add a piece on the side right here. And then you're going to expand that out so that you add 1 more piece here, and then a piece on the bottom. So it goes together really nicely, very quickly.
Very simple. I love the quilting on this too, with the cherries, mimicking the cherry fabric. I think that's fun. Now we don't have that, but that's such a clever idea when you talk with your long arm, or if you quilt yourself, to kind of pick up an element out of the fabric like this. This is darling.
That is cute. And you know, for backings, if you wanted to do the backing, you can do the same thing. We picked out this little floral to go with these grays.
Oh, it's perfect.
And remember, you can always do that drop-down menu where you pick for us to pick out your backing for you. This one is called a Renaissance. It is 8023089, Roman holiday. It's from the book Quick as a Wink, and the alternate pattern is Town Square.
Now, I have a fun kit too that I have put together, but I want to mention Roman Holiday is from our Quick as a Wink book, and Donna and John actually did a review with all new kits and fabrics for that book. So you might want to check it out because there's some great kits and some great patterns in that book, Quick as a Wink. So my Roman holiday that I chose are these bright colors. And I know that if any of you have been watching us for any time at all, you know that my colors are blues and greens.
And bright.
And bright and bold. And I love it if you throw a little purple in there, you know, it's just kind of fun. But this is a very large print and I love it. It's going to go in the larger block as our number 1. Now I stuck with a very contrasting background, a number 2, which is going to go here. And I like the way these little X patterns on this pick up the stitches on this, so it kind of mimics the pattern in fabric 1.
That's cool.
So
that is great.
It's really a lot of fun. Now, the number 3 is the green, lots of movement in this. That is going to be the little where the red is here and on the border. And I think that this just works so well with all the greens in this. This has a lot of movement, but this has a lot of movement. So I really think that you've got a pattern like Roman Holiday that's got a lot of structure to it, that all of the movement in this is really going to help it come to life and really be a nice pop.
I think it's really cool too. I mean, how you've tied the actual design of the fabric into it with, you know, these dots and the swirls that you've got here that's happening in a lot of this.
I like it.
That's great.
It's lots of fun. So the kit information on this, the number is 8023090. It is called Caribbean Vacation because that's what I crave more than anything. It is from the book Roman Holiday. It's from the book Quick as a Wink. The pattern is Roman Holiday, and the alternate pattern that I'm suggesting is Gallery.
This sounds like the show of trips. I mean, I want to go to Italy. She wants to go to the Caribbean, and
I want to go on a motorcycle trip. You know, so you know, I am just, you know, our weather has been so weird this year with all the rain, and we've had some ice and all of that stuff, and I'm just like chomping to get out on the road and go do a, you know, a long road trip or something like that right now. So of course, you know, we had some great new motorcycle fabric come in, and this just really screamed and looks great in the Roman Holiday pattern. So we're going to have our great motorcycle motif that's going to be in that big number 1 block, just like we've been looking at, and I think this is a great one. And this is a directional fabric, and it's going to look really great in this because everything's going to be in that same direction. And then our number 2 fabric, which is going to be in that background where we've got the cherries here, it's kind of that distressed leather look. I think that's a really neat a touch that we've got on this. And that's going to be in that background. And then we've got the same style of fabric there with that black. And in fact, I've got a pair of chaps that look like this. You know, that great vintage, almost kind of worn leather look. It's really just an awesome design that we've got on this. So that's going to look great in that Roman holiday. And the kit number on this one is 8023091, and it's called Iron Horses, using that Roman holiday pattern from Quick as a Wink. And the alternate pattern on this is going to be Town Square.
Now you can see how our different tastes come out here, but we'd love to know which one of those you like best.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we have Courtyard. Now Courtyard is another one that we have put together in such a way that it might look a little strange here. How in the world do we get this? And I'll block it out so I can show you how easy it is to get this particular block. It's a lot of fun, and it looks good in a variety of fabrics. This is a little more traditional here. And of course, this particular block is just super, super simple. It is done in strip piecing. We're going to do 3 strips of fabric. We cut the units out of that. And then we show you how to then put strips on the side, here, and you've got that block. Now, this one is a little bit more tricky. Whenever I designed this, and I always draw these quilts out, and then I have to figure out how to make them, How do I get that piece in there, and how do you sew them together, etc. So what I did here is I did the strip piece once again. Look how simple, easy that is. And I did that long strip, and I cut out the units, and then we just rotated those strips. So I took it and rotated it like so, and like so. It's exactly the same strip piece, and it's put together. You have that block. Isn't that fun?
Yep, lots of fun.
Now, this one's very traditional, and I went a little Franish on this. I do love color too, but whenever I saw this fabric, I just thought it was gorgeous. I like to play with watercolor and using the acrylics and doing all these different mediums and putting paint on there and seeing how they blend together and swishing them together. So it looks like one of my paintings.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
It does, doesn't
Lots
it?
of fun.
This is going to be our number 1 fabric, which is going to border the centerpiece here. So this will go in the number 1. The number 2 fabric is going to be the background. And see how that's going to pick this up. It's just going to be, it gets that contrast that we need between that number 1 fabric and the number 3 fabric so that you can really see the pattern in the quilt. The number 3 is the purple. It's going to go here, here, and of course it's going to go in those. I always call the number 3 the accent color. It kind of just really pulls it all together.
That's great.
And this one is, I named it Aurora. I love to watch the night skies.
Yeah.
It's 8023092. It's the Courtyard pattern from Fast and Fun.
So I went a little different direction on this. Of course, I stuck with my blues and did this fun daisy, so our blues and our greens. Now, I love the Courtyard pattern too, because normally when we talk about focus fabrics and doing a bigger print, or that's the star of the show, we have a solid block where our focus fabric goes. But in this case, we don't have that. We actually have a square and a square block, and the focus is around the border of that. Now, what's really cool about this is that you can do a large print like Mom did with her Aurora, and all of those colors are going to be gorgeous here. But you can do a smaller print like this as well, and it's going to pick up really well in this focus position. So you're going to get all those touches of colors in there, and it's going to add an element of interest, which I think is very cool. So Daisies is our focus, going here and a little bit on the border. And then we have the number 2. Now I picked this number 2 because it is a white and a gray. The daisies here have a little bit of gray in them just on their tips as well. And I think it just kind of is going to make it look like the daisies are in a big field of flowers out there, and it's going to be really cool. And the number 2 is going to go everywhere the beige is here. And then our number 3 is this great blue with the vine, and that is going to go in our windmills here and in the center here, and you can see how just gorgeous that's going to pop off. So I really think it's going to be great. if I can't go to the Caribbean, at least let me sit on the porch and look at beautiful flowers, right?
We can dream.
So this kit is called Delightful Daisies. The number is 8023093. The pattern, once again, is Courtyard from the Fast and Fun book.
Alrighty, so here's my final pick for our show today, and I really kind of got a little out there on the edge with mine, and you know, doing the Fran thing. Gave me a little bit brighter with the fabric that I've chosen today. So I've got this really bright orange, and it's got some nice contrast with the greens in there, and that's going to be our number one fabric, which is going to be in these boxes and out here on the border. And then I decided to go with almost like a little bit more subtle design on this, almost kind of like a trellis or something like that that you would see in a garden, and really have that in there to be that background that we've got on the design here to really get this to pop nicely. And then our number three fabric, I wanted to pull out the oranges that we had in some of these leaves with the two-tone on that, so that it ties in really nicely on this and is going to get us a lot of pop in here. In comparison to the background fabric that we've got there.
John, I think you're so on point with the orange. It's become such a hot color right now.
It is.
And I love the way that your number three coordinates so well with this, because what's going to happen is all this color is going to be on the outside of that. That's going to look very cool.
Well, you know, this past weekend I went to a friend's house, and I walked in and I was just amazed. She loves color, and her house was a riot of color put together in the most gorgeous decor. And I have a very monochromatic with some blues and some greens in it. But I was thinking it would be real easy for me to start adding some colors, because that's what I'm seeing everywhere is these bright colors.
Yes.
Definitely so. So this kit is called Orange Delight, and its number is 8023094. And again, we're using that Courtyard pattern from the Fast and Fun book.
So what did you think about all those picks? Did you have a favorite? Let us know in the comment. And are you a color person? Let us know.
And which one of these patterns is your favorite? You know, and have you actually made one of these before? And I don't know, shall we also throw in, you know, where do you want to go to vacation this year?
Oh, let us know that too, definitely.
I think that's more important.
Yeah, and this isn't all. We have something very special. We have one more kit that Hannah challenged us with, but in order to get those special kits, you'll need to subscribe to our newsletter. So if you haven't done that, be sure to go online and give us your email so we can send you those extra special kits.
It's Donna Robertson.
Fran Morgan.
And John Mossel with Fabric Cafe. Have an awesome day.